Welcome to the best known church show, where we show you how to 10x your reach with church marketing that will help you increase your impact, make more disciples, and become the cornerstone of your community again. This is for the leaders with an outrageous vision, because anything less would be an inaccurate reflection of our Creator. The ones who have unreasonable faith, because you know God works unreasonable miracles. And the ones who are relentless in the pursuit of your calling, because anything less would not make a good and faithful servant. If that's you, you're in the right place. Now, please welcome your host and guide on this journey to become the best known organization in your community, Justin Nava.
Welcome to the
best known church show.
Yeah, we got it, dude. Welcome. My name is Justin Nava. If we have not met, I take full responsibility for that. Thank you for watching live. We are here to help you bring more people to your church, especially in today's case, when they come to your website. Because believe it or not, people are going to come to your website first before they really make a decision to go to your church. Even if someone says, "Hey friend, I'd love for you to come to my church." And they say, "Yeah, cool, we'll be there." Guess what? A lot is going to happen between that invite and Sunday morning, unless they're inviting someone at the donut shop on Sunday morning. What's going to happen is they invite their friend from work, maybe on a Thursday. "Yeah, sounds great, I'll be there." And their friend says, "What was that church again?" And then they go find you. At least I hope they find you. They might find a different church that they don't realize isn't the actual church that you invited them to. First something church. And they will go to your website, take a look at your church, and then say, "Ooh, you know what? Maybe not. Maybe not." And they will then text, "Oh, so sorry, can't make it. Oh, my kiddo's sick. Oh, we decided we're going to do something." But what if we could flip the script? And when you invite your friends, or when your church congregation members, people, your flock invites their coworkers or friends and family, and they go to your website, what if instead of seeing something that they're like, "I'm not sure, this looks like everything else," what if they said, "I want that. I want that." What if instead of even persuading them, what if you validated their decision that this is the place to go? But instead, what I see happens is on many church websites, it ends up becoming an eye roll. It ends up becoming more of this again. Yeah, I'll check. And in fact, what I hear, and this is all what is it? Allegorical. What I hear is people will say, instead of saying, "Yeah, we'll be there Sunday," it's, "Yeah, we'll check it out." What are they going to see when they check you out? Number one, I hope they see Jesus. Number two, I hope they see where they can fit in to your church. Number three, I hope they see proof. Right? You can say all you want on your website, but until you can prove it, who cares? And I hope they see or feel understood. Because even and I'm being a little bit facetious here, but even Jesus said, "Hey, look, I understand you're hungry. I understand you're hurting. I understand you're sick. Therefore," or so I, Jesus, "will do this for you." He didn't just run into the temples whipping things up. He said, "I understand where you're coming from, whether it's an evil place, a misled place, misguided place, or a lonely place, hurting place, hungry place, destitute place," and said, "I'm going to step in here and meet you and bring you into me," so to speak. So we have to we have to make sure that people are understood when they come to our website. If we don't make them feel understood, or at least make them feel like we understand what they're going through, we're going to come off as holier than thou. We're going to come off disconnected. We're going to come off as even unloving. So we have to make sure that when people come to our church website, they're not going to roll their eyes. They're not going to see something they've seen before. They're going to see themselves and their part and God's invite into redemption. I hope that makes sense. And today's going to be a little bit of a shorter show because we are traveling. So as you can see, I got my summer travel shirt on. I usually wear a collar shirt for these shows. But we're going to talk. I'm going to share with you some of the things that I see. I'm not going to pull up examples. I don't like pulling up church examples like, hey, look at how terrible this is. I could pull up older examples. I used one on the thumbnail, like from a previous client. I can show you their site now. It's one you've already seen before on the show. So that's why we do what we do. We do what we do because we want people to see where they should go in their next step to figure out whatever's hurting them. And we have to showcase that we understand someone. When I was at Costco, there's a guy at a table and he's like, how often do you wash your shower tiles? I'm like, dude, I'm here to buy meat. I'm not here to talk about shower tiles. But what if instead he said, if your shower tiles are red, you could have dangerous bacteria in your shower. Have you experienced that? It's a uniquely Texas thing. I don't know if that's true, but I'm just spitballing here. That would get people to say, oh yeah, you know what? I do have red mildew. You're saying that's more dangerous than regular mildew? You're saying that stuff that I've been ignoring, thinking maybe it was just staining from my wife's $300 shampoo. Kidding. That's not what's doing it. It's some kind of mildew. Right? He understands what I'm experiencing, and yeah, he's got me hooked. That's how you interact. And the churches need to say, hey, does it feel like someone's got a boot on your neck and no matter what you do, you cannot move forward? Like the world is against you? Instead of, hey, you want to come to church? When was the last time you went to church? We'd love to have you. And that brings me to my first point. The biggest thing I see that gets people eye rolling when they see a church website is generic messaging. That's messaging that's not unique to your church. Your church is uniquely equipped to uniquely reach a unique group of people. All right. And if you sound like every other church, then you're going to be treated like every other church. Meaning if I, a potential guest, have skipped on every other church, or I had a bad experience with a past church, then when I say your church and you sound just like them, I'm going to assume you're just like them. And so you preach unique sermons, Pastor. You create unique worship sets. You may be using music from other people, CCLI. Nothing wrong with that. But no one is putting together a worship set. And I'm not just talking about the order. I'm talking about the instrumentation, the talents, the atmosphere of your building. All right. Churches, thankfully, are not like McDonald's where they all look like corporate blob banks. The bank of McDonald's. Right. Thankfully, churches are still unique. They have unique buildings to uniquely serve their unique community. Some churches have gyms because they have a young community. Some churches don't because they have an older community. That's not a bad thing. The bad thing is when, side note, the bad thing is when you try to be like every other church to try to get their results. You need to be your church. Get your results. Reach the people that you want to. And to go back to my Costco example, if the dude says, do you have red mildew in your shower? That could be potentially even more dangerous than regular mildew. And if you're not cleaning it long enough, it could explain why you have a nasty cough. It could explain why you wake up with a dry nose. It could explain XYZ. To go back to that example, that pitch may change depending if he's at Walmart, if he's at Target, if he's at Costco, if he's in the North, if he's in the South. Right? So you have a unique people you can serve. And there are people that don't have that issue. There are people that clean their shower every day. God bless you. I am lucky to remember it every week. Gross. But there are some people that don't have that problem. And guess what? That dude's shower tile is not for them. In the same way that Jesus is for everyone, your church is not. If you are an English-speaking church, you cannot effectively minister to the Korean-speaking people in your community. We pray for a Korean church to come plant in that community so we can partner with them to grow the kingdom in that way. There are some older churches that don't have a nursery, or they might have a nursery, but they don't have like a kids program. That's okay. That's not a bad thing. Lean into it. I think we need more churches that just have kids running around the sanctuary. Helps the older churches feel young again. They love seeing the grandkids in. Amen. If that's you, leave a comment below. By the way, wherever you're watching, like, subscribe, follow. If you're watching on X, appreciate y'all. So all that to say, if you are unique, you write unique sermons, you create unique worship sets, your building is unique, your people are unique. Even if you preach or teach in Sunday school the same Lifeway curriculum as millions of churches, no one is teaching it like your teacher. No one could teach me like in third grade, like Miss McMillan. Shout out in heaven. So lean into that. And it does take a little bit of work. You can go to my channel on YouTube, subscribe if you're there, like this video, and then subscribe. And you can find lots of examples on how to find your unique message. We call it your memorable message because it should stay in people's mind. People should remember who your church is. So you can go find those, like those videos. I want to encourage you guys. I need you guys' help. I don't want to just, I will sit here and preach how to promote your church to get more people in to hear the gospel and be discipled. But you guys, I want you guys to play a part and help spread the word, because there are lots of people who think that software is the answer. Software is not the answer. How you use the software is the answer. Buying a new, better study Bible does not put the word in you if you don't know how to study it well or appropriately, or God forbid you buy the wrong version. By the way, let me know if you're watching this in the comments. What's your favorite Bible version? I'm curious. My favorite study Bible I've had since college, the ESV study Bible. Still every day, that's what I love. So that's problem number one. We're going to talk about how to fix these, but I want to make sure we're kind of in tune with what needs to change. The second thing is your church name all over the place. So generic messaging. And when I say generic messaging, when we welcome you on the homepage, is things like welcome home. We're glad you're here. And the same thing along the same lines, your church name. Welcome to First Baptist. You got your logo, First Baptist. Welcome to First Baptist. Scroll down a little bit. Glad you're here visiting First Baptist. Yeah, I know, dude. I'm at First Baptist. Okay. Like, I know what site I clicked on. The Google result told me. Or I know what website I'm on. I typed in the website. So you don't have to keep telling me your name. I get it. All right. We have a sign out front. We might have some signs inside, but we're not welcoming people to the church using the name of the church. every greeter. Ideally, a greeter will say, "Hey, welcome, glad you're here. Good morning. Can I give you a bulletin? Can I help you with that? Let me share with you, hey, how did your son's ball game go?" And greeters aren't just for the unchurched, they're for the church too. I don't have a problem with greeters having conversations with members, only when it becomes inhospitable. Like when my daughter invites two friends over and she ends up just playing with one of them the whole time. The other one just kind of sits there. Oh, breaks my heart. I don't want to do that for our guests. The other thing you need to avoid, this makes people eye roll almost as much as a generic message. And they're not eye rolling, by the way. They're not eye rolling because it's like, oh, welcome home. Every church says that. They're not eye rolling because of that. They're eye rolling because I already have a home. Is this a cult? What does that mean? Okay. Churchy people know what it means. But if you just say welcome home, some people don't have a good home. Some people don't come from a good home. You could easily manipulate that to, we want to be a place you can call home, a second home, a second family. Right? Maybe you're a church equipped to reach hurting, broken people that come from hurting, broken families. In which case it might be, we want to be the family you never had, because God is the father you never had. How much more powerful that is that than welcome to your new home? The other thing you need to avoid, and this one is a huge eye roll for non-church people. Church people love seeing this, but I challenge you that if you have your mission statement as your welcome banner or as a main headline on your site, you are chasing away people. Your mission statement is an organizational tool. It is a banner to rally around. It is a banner to rally your congregation around. We will be a church that makes disciples who makes disciples. We will stand up to the enemy and turn our city into a God-fearing, God-honoring city. We exist to glorify God and make his name known. None of those apply to a potential guest. They are not part of your congregation. They are not part of your body. They're not part of your membership if you do membership. They are an outsider. And an outsider will not resonate with your mission statement because they have not signed on to that mission statement. The mission statement is why you exist. And a potential guest does not need to know why you exist. They need to know what your church and Jesus through your church can do for them. And they are not staying awake at night saying, I wish someone would make me a disciple. I wish someone would help me glorify God. Even Christians are not saying that. They should, but they're not specifically staying awake because of it. We need to meet people where they are and not start with, here's what we do. Don't you want to be a part of this? That's holier than thou. It comes across. I understand and empathize with the heart behind it, the intention behind it, but your mission statement is an internal tool. If you don't believe me, think of your favorite chain restaurant. Think of your local grocery store. Think of whatever device you're watching this or listening to this on, Apple, Microsoft, Android, Google. Tell me their mission statement. Look at the speakers that you're listening to this on. Bose. I love Bose. I buy something Bose for my wife every year. Can I tell you their mission statement? No. When you go to their website, what does the Bose website say when you land on it? It's not the mission statement. It's actually an article. That's interesting. E-com's a little bit different. Let's try. Yeah, because they're selling stuff. I mean, that's gonna be a little bit different than a church. Let's do something. DoSomething.org. It's a fantastic site. Anytime you build a new website, go to DoSomething.org. They've got fantastic messaging. Look at that. Okay. Their headline, what good will you do today? Like, that's a great headline. More headlines. Take action. Your path to impact. That's inspiring. Can I even find about what we do, who we are? Let's see who we are. Our team. Get involved. Man, the DoSomething.org website, just kudos to them. Uplifting young people on a mission to change the world. Okay. It's descriptive. It's nice. But it doesn't get me to really see myself in there because I'm not doing it. I want to. So you know what? They're going to call me to action. What good will you do today? Take action. DoSomething.org. Always, always, always recommend DoSomething.org anytime you want some website inspiration. It's just a good one to check. So don't put your mission statement as your main welcome. The last thing I'm going to share with you here, and then we'll talk about how to fix it, that causes people to eye roll, is a slow loading website. Look, when you're browsing the internet, time moves 10 times slower. It could, 3 seconds feels like an eternity, right? If I go to a website, you've got 0.5 to 0.75 seconds. So basically less than 1 second to get attention. And then after that, you got another split second to keep their attention. And if your website takes more than a second and a half, if someone's being graceful, they're going to back out. Okay. Just think about your older friends. If you are the older friend, think about how annoying it is when you're like, I just want to see the menu and it's not pulling up. Ugh, go somewhere else. Especially when you're like really frustrated. You already got stress and anxiety. You're already overworked, overstimulated, whatever millennial term you want to call it. Aggravated, frustrated, irritated. And you're just like, I just want to, fine, whatever. Go take a walk or something. You got to have a fast loading website. You got to have and today I would say, I want to say you got to have a reasonably loading website. And a reasonably loading website today still takes about a second. Because that second that's how fast a reason. If it takes longer than that, I don't know if you can hear me snapping on the mic. If it takes longer than that, you're going to lose them. They're going to hit the back button and go somewhere else. It's frustrating. And unlike a restaurant menu where I can go back and I say, well, is it on Yelp? Is it on their Google page? Is it on the places? Is it on the map? Is it on their Facebook or Instagram? You got one shot as a church. It is hard to bring people to church. It is hard people to keep their attention because we have a millennia of bad PR, so to speak, to overcome. So we need to make sure that we have a reasonably fast loading website. Now, if you're a techie person, your immediate thought is, okay, it's a second now. How can I get it lower? If your website is loading reasonably fast right now, and by the way, you can put your website in the comment. I will tell you if it's loading fast. I will not use a fancy tool. I will use my brain because God has gifted me to see things like I'm able to separate myself from myself, so to speak. And I like to see things as other people. I know that sounds daunting or haughty. I'm just repeating back what some other people tell me. I help them see what they can't. So I can mentally look at a website and kind of feel what it's like to be an outsider looking in. So you can comment your website. I'll take a look and tell you if it's fast loading or not. All right, so here's what to do. Number one, you got to find your memorable message. You've got to find the hurt that your church exists to serve, how your church serves that hurt, and when someone engages with your church, how is their life different? Okay. Our church, excuse me, I don't know if you heard that on the mic. Our church understands that it hurts Christians to see their friends and family on a path to hell. We also understand that it is difficult for some people to invite their friends to church. They don't feel equipped to disciple because they haven't been made equipped to be discipled. And their churches sometimes aren't the best place to have a first impression of Jesus because the sermons are deep, they're academic. In the case of the church I went to last week, it was real Fox Newsy. I'd be embarrassed if I brought my mother-in-law to that church last week. I don't have a great way to share Jesus with her, I might feel. So our church equips believers to share Jesus with their friends and family by giving you the tools and resources to do so in your own home. No inviting, no offsetting to the pastor or another leader. You become the disciple like Jesus has called you to be. And as a result, you live with a renewed purpose and you actually have an Acts type fellowship. So, that's a lot of words. We wouldn't write all that on the website, but that's essentially why we exist. You got to know your memorable message. And then you can actually shorten that down and maybe that becomes your website headline. We're a church that meets in the home. We give you the knowledge, resources, and structure to share your faith with your friends and family. We give you everything. We give you every tool and support along the way. If you haven't found a church, if you haven't found what you're looking for when finding a church for your family, we make it easy to have church in your own home. Simple. It's not welcome home. It's not, I should know our mission statement, but I don't. No, it's not here. I don't even think our mission statement's on the website. Yeah, we believe discipleship happens through relationships, and house churches are the best at developing. So yeah, we equip believers to have to be disciples through house churches. Something like that is our mission statement. I should know it. I'll take ownership of that. So what's your memorable message? What's the hurt? Where's your church fit into that hurt? And then what's the result after someone engages and connects with your church? That's your memorable message. A couple of our clients experienced church without the baggage. Another client, live better and love better, period. Simple. No matter your past experience or current circumstances, you can experience what God can do. God's not done with you. One more. Let me find an older client. Let's try. A real church with real purpose for real people. We're more than a church service. God can change any life in any situation in any community. So it's not welcome home. It's not welcome to our website. That's what's on the thumbnail, I think. Welcome to the City Point website. It's something that addresses the hurt and the need. And especially if you're a small church, you need to really dig into that. The big churches can afford big brands that reach a big audience. The small churches need to minister to the people that they can minister to at that size. And that's a good thing. Get your mission statement off your homepage. Get it off of a headline. If you need it in an about section, put it in an about section. Put it in an about section. Put it in an about section. And be mindful of how your website reads. It's very easy to sit in front of a website and just look at one section. And you're like, looking, it looks good. Then you go to the next section and then you're like, it looks good. And then when you look at it all together, which you probably may not do, it doesn't read well. What you need to do is read all the headlines together. That's where you might find welcome to First Baptist. At First Baptist, we believe, listen to a First Baptist sermon. And it's like, or it's the opposite. It's like, welcome from the pastor. Listen to the pastor. Meet the pastor. It's like, well, this isn't a church. This is just a cult of personality. So scan, your website should be scannable. If I scan this website, a real church for real purpose, more than a church service, ministries, prayer, and support. Hear from Nina. God has called us to be a beacon of light. Join us at an upcoming service. Like I'm scanning through the website, and that's what I'm reading. Your headlines should tell a story. Okay, what to expect, when and where. CTA, saying like this one's a good one. We don't have welcome home, but we do have a testimonial that says CTA feels like another home. Okay, what's a Sunday like for the kids? Some people you'll meet. A message from our team. Like this flows, and I can stop and see what I want to read. Are these headlines perfect? No. But they're better than welcome home, ministries, info, location. All right. Speak to that need. Know that need, first of all, and where your church fits into that need. And you'll have a lot easier time writing for your website. And then lastly, on the slow loading, I don't have too much to offer you. We don't work with WordPress, so I can't recommend any WordPress plugins or tools or anything else. Servers, that stuff gets too complicated and too expensive for me to offer and certainly to consult on. You can go Google or Bing that. It may be time to look for a different web host, meaning if you're using, I'm going to list some. I'm not saying they're slow. I'm just saying if you're using a platform like Faith Connector. It's just one of them, just a platform that I looked at yesterday. And they're not doing it for you. There's not much you can do. Their software is set and done. That's why our software focuses on speed, because if you don't have it, you just don't have it, and you need it. So it may be worth checking out if you're going to lose half of your people that click to your website and they click off because your website takes too long to load. It's one good reason to switch website providers. And I'm just going to throw this up here, NavaChurchMarketing.com. You want to talk with us about it? We can show you some speed examples. Happy to do that. Okay. And we can connect that way to talk about maybe some better options. Even if it's not me, I'll point you in the right direction. Got some great people in the church space that do great work. Many of them do things that I can't do. And on the flip side, I can do many things that they can't do. It's about finding the right partner in your ministry. Okay. So you got to get your website fast loading. All right. People are going to go online when they want a new church. That's just what it is. If they hear about you, they want to validate you. If they are feeling God's pull on their life, they will want to find a good church that they can fit into, that they can see themselves going to, that can answer the needs that they have. And if they see, welcome home, we want to be disciples who make disciples, that does not address a need, they do not fit in or resonate with that message, they will continue to keep looking. And I know I harp on this a lot, but there are a lot of wolves in sheep's clothing, false teachers, false prophets, bad actors of faith that know super sexy words to get people to come to them. And it is up to the God-honoring, gospel-preaching churches that have an evangelistic heart to rise above that. We can't tear them down. They are backed by the powers of this world. But what we can do is stand on top of the truth and shine our light brighter and reach the people that we can. So that's what we have to do. We have to be there when people are searching. We have to be clear in who we are and know how to communicate that. We have to be found where people are looking. That's where your website comes into play. That's what we talked about today. And then we have to go out and try to get as many people as we can to get on our website. That's called driving traffic. You might hear that from other business or marketing podcasts. I don't really like that term. It's really just digital outreach. It's getting as many people to hear your message, to remember you. So when God pulls on their heart, they think of you. And then when they go to your website, their thoughts, their desires, their hurts are validated. And it's easier for them to take a next step. But if they see something generic, if they see something vague, if they see something they've heard before, I've heard all this before. If they see something they can't resonate with, like your mission statement, or if they can't even load the website in a reasonable amount of time, they are out. That's why we have the Nava website method. That's why it used to be called the Definitive Church Marketing Method. That's why we have this now. You can go learn more about it, again, on our website, NavaChurchMarketing.com. You can go watch our previous videos and you can get the whole process. If you go to Facebook, Be the Best Known Church, it's a Facebook group. I will tell you the whole process. I will walk you through the whole process. You can implement it on your own. Because I walk you through the whole process. What you need to do. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I'm obviously here if you need some help. We have coaching programs. We have an agency that does it for you. But you got to do something. If you want to reach people you've never reached before, you're going to have to do something and do things you've never done before. Last call, like, subscribe to the show. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. God bless you all, and I will see you all next week.
That's going to do it for today's episode of the Best Known Church Show with Justin Nava. Be sure to subscribe to stay updated on the latest news, strategies, and resources that you need to reach 10x more people and become the best known in your community. To send us a message or leave a voicemail for Justin to be played on a future show, visit thebestknownchurchshow.com. And if you'd like to work with us so you can focus on your ministry, Give us a call at 832-861-7654. Until next time, stay outrageous, unreasonable, and relentless.